Well, welcome back, meteorologist Justin Stapleton.
Look at this behind us, Amy.
Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, this is not from Fort Bend County. We've got questions about the new Twisters movie. That's what we're talking about.
I love it.
And so I was just saying, I watched the old Twisters recently with my kids to prepare to be able to go see the new one.
Right.
But I know lots of people have already seen it, and a lot of people are like, "What? That's crazy." I mean, you haven't seen it yet either.
No, I haven't. But I mean, I've talked to a lot of. Caroline's seen it. You know, Amanda, our weather intern this summer, has seen it. A lot of folks that I trust. Let me put it this way first. I trust.
They're telling you what they're seeing.
Yeah, have seen it and say it's very good. You know, and here's the thing. This is what people need to know about Twister is that, you know, yes, Twister was, if you've seen the original, for those of you that don't know, it was back in 1996. It was Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton and Corey Eels from Princess Bride.
Oh, okay.
He plays the bad storm chaser.
Yeah, he's the cute guy.
With Gary Powell, right, in this movie. You know, and it's just, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it as well, right? And so it has all these characters are in there. And it's a movie about storm chasing, right? People that do that in the plains every single year. And there are parts of it that are 100% correct. They actually did a really good job on the meteorology of that, where, you know, they've got the radar, and they're chasing downdrafts, and they're chasing, you know, rear flank quads and all this stuff that you kind of look for. Now, the creative licensing is with this as well. There's a scene where they're trying to take Helen Hunt's truck and put Dorothy, which is one of the contraptions that they have. Very similar if you've seen the new one. They're trying to put data into the storm so that they can, at least in the original, so they can study them more often, right? And so their truck gets picked up by a Twister, and they're both hanging on to, you know, just basically a piece of wood at that point. And there's just absolutely no, if it's big enough to pick up a truck, it's big enough to pick you up.
To pick up the piece of wood.
Anything.
So you're saying that was a little...
It was a little bit of creative licensing here. So obviously this is some scenes from the new one. And I can't, so there's Glenn. I can't remember that fella's name, but he's in The Heights. The Lin-Manuel Miranda played movie as well. He's the main character. He's fantastic in it anyway. So he's in there as well. So, you know, so the idea of this one is that, you know, they're trying to put things, or trying to put, you know, data points, whatnot, in the tornadoes to break them up, to decrease.
Yes, to tame them.
To tame them.
Is that possible?
No, right? There's a whole reason, right? Same thing with hurricanes. You know, we can't stop hurricanes. We can basically just tell people where we think they may go and prepare. Same thing with tornadoes. That's why, you know, when they talk about tornado warning systems, right? And that's been a conversation here across Southeast Texas, because we don't have the big warning systems like they do in Kansas and parts of Oklahoma and parts of North Texas and West Texas, where they've got civil warning systems.
And why is that?
Because we just don't necessarily get as many here, and it's a very expensive project is probably the best way to put it diplomatically and politically here. And so flood mitigation is the bigger issue for us here, obviously. That's where they put the money at.
We saw a fire tornado, so really quickly, is that a real thing?
Oh, absolutely.
We saw it in the last video. You could have a fire tornado.
Yeah, you saw that, and again, it's Hollywood, so they have to, you know, like
make
nobody's going to watch if you're out there and you're like, wow, look at this fire tornado, and it's like, a little bit, right? It's got to do something.
Yeah, and that one apparently, the funnel hit an oil and gas refinery and then caused this fire tornado.
Sure, which is quite possible. We've seen those in, you know, we've seen those from wildfires out in California and in British Columbia and whatnot. And so what happens, if you guys want to go over to Max 1 here, and I'll show you exactly what we're dealing with, in particular where that is. So basically, here's how tornadoes form. And let me just start with that, because there was a second question too I know we wanted to get to about, you know, where do they go? Is it accurate for them to be driving in towards the tornadoes? 100% absolutely not. Right?
No.
They're not going to do that. They follow tornadoes like this.
What you mean, like what storm chasers do?
Real storm
chasers. They don't drive right into them.
They do not drive into tornadoes.
That would be a boring movie, though.
Well, that would be a very quick movie, yeah. So what you've got basically is you've got two different winds going on here, right? You've got these very strong winds that are at the upper levels, right? The higher part of the atmosphere, if you want to think of it like a slice of pizza. So this is at, like, you know, the pepperoni or the mushroom level, right?
Top.
Yeah, down here, this is the crust, right? And so you've got this mismatch of winds. So already you've got an overcompensation of winds at the upper part versus the lower part, and then you start to get this rotating column of air, right? So you have an imbalance. If you have winds going 60 miles an hour and going 10 miles an hour, that's a 50-mile-an-hour difference. So that starts to create the circulation. Now, if you look what you were talking about a second ago with the fire tornadoes, so as it goes over, you start to create that updraft, right?
Right.
So the tornado basically, you know, it's just like a big vacuum. It will suck things into it and then slingshot them around, kind of like when your kids were little, when the little ones were little, like Jack was little, you might take the Legos and just go whee up in the air, and they just go everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons we know it's a tornado and not like straight line wind damage. But then notice as that starts to get pulled up, look what happens. It starts to rotate a little higher and then eventually shifts. So that's how even a fire, let's say if it goes over an oil, gas, or if you've got some updraft at a very large fire, it can create, you know, the fire and can pull it up into the storm as well. So you can create these, and they're just called fire tornadoes, but they're out there. Same thing with dust devils. If you've ever been to West Texas, right? And you see those big dust devils out there in the middle. That's all it is. It's doing the exact same thing.
That is really cool. Did you ever want to be a storm chaser?
You know what? I leave that to the people that are a little better at that. I like the hurricanes. That's kind of my, that's sort of been, that lightning are my two favorites that I really like to study in meteorology. The people that are real good at storm chasing, I went to school with a bunch of them at Mississippi State. They're very good at what they do, and they are very careful at what they do as well.
Yeah, they're not like all the people in the movie.
They're not like the people in the movie.
Get in, go in the middle.
Yeah, Now, there is a lot of good research. Reed Timmer, who's a very famous storm chaser as well. A lot of people, if you follow Reed on social media, he's very good, right?
Yeah.
He's very, very good. And Reed's doing a lot of research about warning systems and trying to figure out like early detections of tornadoes, because a lot of times places only have seconds, right? Maybe a minute and a half, whereas a hurricane, we're watching it for what? Days, right? So we're like, here it comes.
Right.
Be ready, right? We know that. Whereas tornadoes, sometimes you have no more than maybe 60 seconds to kind of get into a safe place and a shelter.
All right. Well, you heard it from our weather expert, meteorologist Justin Stapleton. Still a whole lot of fun. You should go see it because half of it sounds like most of it is plausible.
I think so, yeah. And obviously, you're not going to plow into, like, you know, if they're watching this tornado here, Amy, they will be on the southwest side of it because tornadoes generally track like this. So you track here and you just track it as it goes along. Right? You're not going to be up here because now look what? Now I'm in the path of the tornado. That's one of the big issues recently, anyway. It's a lot of different, you know, we'll call them amateur storm chasers or something out there, and they want to get the money shot. They want the money shot. Well, if you get the money shot, sometimes you are now in the path of that tornado. And some of these roads, as you saw in the new Twister and in the old Twister as well, it is literally one dirt road in the middle of nowhere. So where are you going to go?
Very interesting. I haven't seen it, but maybe I'll check it out now.
You should.
All right.